Alright, let's go save some. In case you're wondering, no, the party members do not talk unless they're already in the script in this game. So it's not like a BioWare game or whatever where you bring certain crewmates and they'll react in the cutscenes their own specific way here and there. This one, they're simply watching. They're spectators. So L's not going to say anything.
Two extra meters makes you better.
I'll take a shot at it.
Attack from range. Follow me. Of course. Allow it. Blade. Astral Surge. Startle attack.
Don't let him kill me.
Yeah. Mind Storm. Rising Blade.
You let him kill me. Thanks, guys. I thought you were my bros and all that. So as I was saying, we're going to get to the Manon, and Elle's not going to have 2 cents. It's just going to be Elma and Lynn, who are not in the game. Oh. Who are not in the party right now, so... But it's so funny, man. I tell you, it's so hilarious. The people... The internet, folks, I want you... This is why it's such a disaster that no one's watching this series. Nobody knows that I am making videos. It's so awful that my voice continues to cry out in the wilderness with no response. You do what you want to do with your money, your life, your parents' money, whatever. But it's just so pathetic. People are so pathetic on the internet. I wish I didn't need this to try to get somewhere in life. Because I'm just so sick of it. I'm so sick of the background noise. See?
Is everything alright?
Well, it is now that Elma's here.
To help. Tatsu is not takeout or food. Humans are personnel to assist Tatsu.
Personnel?
Elma.
No, Tatsu mean personnel favorites.
Then humans are friendly? Humans are not working with the ganglion?
Sorry for the scare. We're from
Dear
a planet.
Lord. I wouldn't be afraid when I saw you. I'd be horny.
Enemies, you say? That means you're friends to the Manon, yes? We are Manon, you know. Ours is an advanced civilization. You can tell, right? The ganglion desire our technology. But Earth human heroes have come to save us, right? I'm right?
I hope so.
God,
Why don't one
Elma.
of you tell us what happened?
Anime characters shouldn't be this hot.
Okay?
I mean, no, they should, but...
This is where we are now, right? Our ship is hiding in that big crevasse, under the founding stuff, you follow? But the ganglion have it surrounded with anti-aircraft turrets, you see?
Okay, so in other words, if we can destroy their weapons, your ship can escape.
Exactly. They have 3 turrets set up around the area. You see them now? We need you to destroy them all, okay? Please?
Got it. We don't want the ganglion controlling the airspace here any more than you do.
I want to
We'd
make
be
love
happy
to you.
to help out.
You mean it? You'll help us? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you!
Okay. Hey, I'm not the one that programmed it that she has a bikini. that was totally the developers. So anyway... Oh, I can't do that one. So anyway... You're gonna attack... I meant the ones in front of me, obviously. So anyway... The Switch 2 was announced and everything like that. Now, the Switch 1 has already sold an extensive amount of copies. It's almost 200 million, right? If you rounded it off, I think it would be about 200 million. If you round it off to the 10 million.
Punching a hole in you. Rising blade.
So, the concept of the console wars, long over. Wow, did we brain fart this thing? What happened?
Barrage. Ether blast.
And then the Switch 2 gets announced. And you get all these updates that are, for the gaming industry, monumental. That's not an overstatement. That's just a fact. Monumental. Just the fact that you can use the Joy-Cons on the Switch 2 as mice should be enough for all the point-click geeks that think PC is God tier because of the fact that they play it and everything, and they're God's gift to humanity. And you know, everybody that's popular on YouTube, they were born wealthy, they've had money their whole lives,
It's the hard way.
they've had connections, this is why they are where they are. When they say, I'm going to make a channel, they don't say they're going to make a channel like I say, or my friends or whatever, where we start from zero and nobody knows about it. It's like somebody who has a successful business now says, I'm starting a business because all their friends who have connections and they can cross-promote and everything, they know about it and they'll get them hooked up. And it's the same thing with YouTube. Because long gone are the days of yore when it just started and nobody really knew how to post videos and everything other than the suburban filth nerds that that's all they do is sit on their computers all day, and they can because their parents will bail them out. Like, those days are gone, so now you kind of, it's known what YouTube is, it's known what it does, and being a content creator has some semblance of prestige in some way. Even to the point where it's almost like when you were trying to get deferments from student loans because of the fact that you couldn't get a job, and they'd ask, well, are you actively seeking? And you'd say, how do I tell you that I'm actively seeking for employment? They say, well, do you have your resume up on monster.com? Or, you know, it's that kind of thing. Like, you can say to your job, well, I can't really work extra hours. I'm a content creator. Oh, sorry, we didn't mean to, you know, there's almost some semblance of a, like I said, prestige. So now that you have so many quote-unquote content creators, you know, people that post videos on YouTube and whatever, the only ones that really get noticed are the ones that have the money and the connections and the resources that they can say to their rich, connected friends, I'm going to start posting content on YouTube, and then their friends get hooked up. They have all these different groups and promotional sites and whatever, and, you know, it's more or less figured out for them through other people, and all they have to do is showcase their quote-unquote wink-wink talent. Oh, fucking come on, man. Shit. These things are practically max level, and I have to deal with them right now. And yes, I already knew about that, sort of. I just forgot. So what you have is, you have these pathetic little nerds that don't want to grow up. In their late 20s, early 30s, they marry their identical twins and think that they're men's men because they married their identical twin. And they just spout out feces from their gaping maws. Now look, that's fine. Whatever, if it makes you money, whatever works for you, man. You know, like, I spend money on these games. It's my money, kinda. I get it from, like, tips and shit like that from, you know, earning a living. And if this is how you earn your bread, whatever works for you, dude. I would never tell you what to say, what not to say. I just find it beyond humorous that immediately, these people, oh, fuck off! Go!
It's in your hands now.
How are you supposed to get here? It's a Chapter 5, Level 16 mission, and you have to fucking get through Level 60s who are aggressive? Let's waste more time now that I just wasted fucking 8 hours trying to figure out how to even get to this point because of white comatite. But like I was saying, whatever works for you, fantastic, but they're so bitter, I guess, that Nintendo Switch 2 got a From Software exclusive or whatever it is. They get so nitpicky when their master race PC gaming is somewhat compromised. And people might enjoy playing video games for the first time in their lives or for the first time in 20, 30 years because Nintendo got their hands on some real processing technology, and here we go. Now, I will be the first to tell you that I am a Nintendo geek. Oh, wait, this one I can take. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm a Nintendo geek that, even though I'm not a nerd or anything like that, I'm a huge Nintendo fan because I've been a Nintendo fan since the 80s. They're the best gaming company out there, and considering as people's somewhat conventional beliefs and values seem to be dying out, the concept of true gaming is dying out. Where all you gotta do is either emulate From Software or emulate Bayonetta or some great game in the past, or just make a wannabe movie that sucks. But I like the characters, and suddenly you get a Game of the Year. Yeah, and the concept of innovating enjoyment and whatever, it's all gone, and it's all dead, except when Nintendo makes a game. And I could be the first to tell you that I was somewhat disappointed when the Switch 1 was announced, and they weren't competing graphically with the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One and all that stuff. Especially since the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 had come out 2 years earlier. But they were just trying to see, I guess, if they could get back on track, and boy did they ever, because the Switch 1 is one of the highest selling consoles in the history of consoles, and they did it in a matter of 7-8 years. Even a Sony nerd was trying to say, oh, Switch's numbers aren't that great. You know, Sony PlayStation 2 sold this, that, and the other thing, and so many, and it's like, yeah, so Sony PlayStation 2 has been out for 30 years, bro. And people bought it because it had a Blu-ray player on it. Seriously, that's what people that I talked to said. Now, again, I wasn't a nerd. I didn't hang out with nerds, really. I had like a friend or two that was like kind of geeky. I was in computer science.
Sure, you can do this the hard way.
But
Follow me.
no, the one that's right in front of you.
Here comes the window like butterflies. Now you sting like this lightning.
But like, you know, playing PC games or playing on like Xbox or whatever, like nobody that I knew really did that. Like, we played Nintendo. It's just the way it is.
I'm punching a hole in you.
Because as I said, they're fun games. They're what video games are meant to be. Well, now I have no potentials. Thanks, guys.
Tornado blade.
We're doing like no damage to this dude.
Rising blade. Yeah.
Well, I can't do anything like that now. Okay, I'm getting slaughtered here. Somebody help?
Oh yeah. Finish him off. Run it to us.
No, get your fucking thing out. Damn it. Gabe, get your fucking weapons out. Holy shit.
Start Rising blade. Start Now,
Focus on one guy. Anyway, you know, so it wasn't, you know, any other consoles or whatever didn't really make any difference to us when I was growing up and a young man and everything. Like I said, I'm not like the type to get nerdy, but at the same time, it's Nintendo deserves its spot in you're the same class. Oh shit, boy, did I screw up. They deserve their spot in the number one spot, number one tier. It's just the way it is. The only ones that make real video games. And don't bog you down in technology that doesn't give you a good game. But whatever the case, they always seem to have their argument when it came to Nintendo's Switch being inferior because, well, the graphics. Well, they can't play this game. Well, this game doesn't run on 60 frames per second, or it's choppy, or it doesn't look good. So then Nintendo comes back with the Switch 2, which is 4K, 120 frames, everything that you would want in the graphics and everything. Because at this point, can you get any... I mean, you pretty much would have to play a movie at this stage of the game, and they've tried that. It doesn't work. It's got to be some semblance of, like, fantasy in your fantasy video game playing. But Nintendo Switch 2 comes out with a boom. Not just the games that Nintendo's making, but the third-party affiliations and everything, and it just all that came out, and everything that's going to get a re-release and whatever, and the games look better on the Switch too. It's just so.
Let's move.
So the technological aspect has been broken. Nintendo broke that. It's over, right? And as I've asked, how much better can you get when it comes to graphics at this point? I'm not going to lie and say that things don't look realistic. I'm just going to tell you that making a realistic-looking wannabe movie is not as good as playing an anime game. It's just not, because it's a game, and the women are gorgeous. But the whole idea of the technology now has been met. On top of that, the Switch 2 gives you portable and home console play, gives you 2 mice in the Joy-Cons that can easily transition. You get a whole communicative device with it. On top of that, you can get a day one packet that gives you Mario Kart. You can get a day one packet that gives you something else. You can transfer all your games from the Switch 1 and your online account.
Strike first. Strike hard.
So you don't have to worry about, rebuying things or whatever. You can just transfer whatever you have. Some games you can get an upgrade so that they play smoother, play nicer, they look better and everything. As I've said, day one I'm going to get, or day one for me, whenever I get, hopefully I get a day one, I'm going to buy my upgrade for Civilization 7 and start streaming it that day. All or nothing at all.
Wild slash.
So there are so many different ways that, you can get the Switch 2 and you can just play the games that you already had on the Switch 1 that you downloaded. You can get the Switch 2 and you can play, all the games that you were playing on Nintendo 64 and everything. Like, you could just get the Switch 2, and until you can get the first game for you, the first hard copy game, or physical game, or even digital game, you can just play the games you were playing before. There's nothing wrong with it. And you get all that for $449.99. Up, level 22! And immediately, the conversation isn't, my God, Nintendo gets it. Backwards compatibility, no compromise, no negotiation, no bullshit. It's legit backwards compatibility. You can use the same account as you did on your one, and just transfer it over. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take much. It's just a download. It's all on the account. You can talk to your friends. You can get a camera and superimpose yourself on what you're recording and everything. And I mean superimpose, not like you have your background, you have that square like OBS. Like, you could superimpose yourself when you're talking with your friends and stuff like that, because, Nintendo it's Japanese, so it kind of wants people to interact with one another and not have them brooding in some dark room by themselves playing a video game without any concept of human contact. Shit, I've got some serious ass TP right now. My potential's off the potential charts. So it's everything that a parent can want, it's everything that a kid can want, it's everything that a crusty old asshole like me could want. And these fuckers have to just continue to bitch and moan about, I'm not going to get it. Oh, you don't get it. Somebody made a video, don't buy this. Why wouldn't I not buy it? I mean, look, if you're going to tell people not to buy it so I can get my pre-order and my day one release, cool. But don't buy it? You're going to tell me what to do based on what? And what are they talking about? It's expensive. It's expensive? The thing costs $449.99. You're getting a portable and home console. You're getting a Steam Deck and a Steam Deck base to play Steam Deck on TV for $449.99. You know what the Steam Deck costs? $350. And the only games you can play are Steam games. If you want to get the base, it's another $350. So you're paying about $700 to get a console that portable is not as good as the Switch 2, docked is not as good as the Switch 2, or just as good as the Switch 2. and all you're playing are Steam games, which you pretty much can play on the Switch too.
All or nothing.
All or nothing at all. But they're freaking out because the games themselves are like $80, $79. Look, games now are $79. I spent over $130, and I'm going to have to spend another $15 or $20 to play Civilization 7. I didn't have to. That was my choice, as I mentioned before. But I spent almost twice as much on one game. And the game wasn't even finished. It was buggy. It still kind of is. I mean, the music doesn't always play. I'm enjoying it, so I overlook it. But, you know, it's not just characters they haven't released yet. There's still complaints about the user interface. I mean, again, who make these complaints? Oh, the PC players. These fucking geeks who get all the views, who get all the attention, who get all the agrees and likes, and, oh, you're right. You know, have everybody wanting to live vicariously through them as if they're some kind of, like, heroic figures. They're the ones that are complaining that the user interface sucks, this sucks, that sucks, and they'll play it. And then they'll play it, not on. And they'll have fun, but then they'll keep complaining about these mundane problems like user interface. Okay, whatever, man. User interface isn't what you want. So what? It's fine. It doesn't make the game unplayable. Where are you going? Where are you taking me? Oh. Away from the bullets. Let's just go. Let's just go. Just go!
I'm in trouble. Heal me.
Good. I don't care about you, Doug. You suck ass.
Sorry.
As long as I don't die, we're good.
Shit. Heal me. Son of...
I told you not to fight it. See, look, you're fine. No worse for wear. But they're over here and they're just complaining about the prices of these games. So somebody on Facebook posted, you know, $449.99, $70 for, or $80 for Donkey Kong, you know, and one of those dumb hand-drawn meme things of the guy screaming. And then on the bottom, $700 for a PlayStation Pro, $70 for a re-release of a PlayStation 3 game, and it's got the hand-drawn face smiling. And it's like, yeah, like, fucking, you're such hypocrites. See, that's my problem. If somebody wants to say, look, I'm not getting the Switch 2, I know everybody's going to get it, I'm not going to get it because games are too expensive and I'm tired, that's fine. But if you're a PlayStation or an Xbox or a PC player, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Shit. You're just bitching about your company that doesn't give a rat's ass about video games or people having fun or you in general. Didn't come up with this idea. That it's now the second console that Nintendo has. Microsoft's trying to come up with a handheld. Steam tried it. It failed. And all these people, Steam Deck's going to challenge Nintendo. Yeah, it didn't do that. It didn't do shit. But the thing that bothers me the most, and this is why I'm contemplating making a video about this, but nobody will watch it. But the thing that bothers me the most is that when Nintendo Switch was killing it. Oh, the game looks horrible. Oh my god, how can you play it on this? Oh, it's unplayable. This game is literally unplayable. You know, they just would go off and off and off on the technology's not any good, the hardware's not good, it's underpowered, blah, blah, blah. And then after about 6-7 years, when Nintendo Switch outsold virtually every console in the history of consoles and had one of the highest selling games, and a couple of the highest selling games of all time and everything, then suddenly they had to fall back and say, well, you know, really what happened was Nintendo won the console wars. And how the underpowered Switch 1 was able to gain victory was real simple. Because they made fun games that were better than everybody else. And their released product, they never had a Cyberpunk 2077. They never had even a Witcher 3 or a Civilization 7 or any Ubisoft game or even a Square Enix game. They didn't have a game where you put it on, it crashes, you put it on, it doesn't save. They didn't have games with bugs where people are falling through the sea. They didn't have Bethesda games which still can't figure out in Skyrim how not to have an ogre or a giant kill you and you just go flying in the air somehow. Yeah, they didn't have these game-breaking bugs or these weird glitches that destroyed every last aspect of the experience you're having. Nintendo gives you polished, finished products. And if you want, sometimes you can buy a season pass or whatever. You can buy a $25 DLC pack where every bit of content that comes out afterwards, you get straight out of the box. You don't have to worry about waiting for it. You don't have to pay extra for it. You just get it. As opposed to everybody else where you got to pay extra for it, you got to pay extra for it, you got to pay extra for it. Just so a few years later, you're going to get the game release of it with all the DLC for the price of like one game. You know, the initial price. Man and man. So, Nintendo gives you the best games, they give you the most polished games, there's no problem, right? And everyone realized that when it was far too late, Nintendo Switch finally got its proper attention. People realized that Nintendo was, but people would still bitch about Nintendo and everything. And look, it's a business. A lot of the modern business ethics in all countries, especially when they deal with the United States, are gone. They don't exist. You know, gentlemen's agreements, they don't exist. You know, the idea of family comes first, so that's all gone. You know, it's just the way things are now. But the least egregious of the... Wrong one. The least egregious of the offenders is Nintendo, trust me. I mean, just look at Sony. They give you shitty everything, and somehow they want you to pay top dollar. But the one insult that people had, or that they thought they had with the Switch 1, was the technology. So Nintendo ups the technology, and it costs about $100 more. Right? All this 4K stuff, how you can easily, seamlessly switch from one style to another. Like, all of it is pretty expensive. Move a little faster, maybe? Man. So that's a little bit more expensive. The game's a little bit more expensive. And now it's time, now that the Nintendo console is up to speed, if not ahead of the game technologically, now these geeks want to complain about the price. And Nintendo is bad. Nintendo doesn't like you. Nintendo doesn't like its fans. It's like, dude, shut up, man. It's like, just let people enjoy themselves, for fuck's sake. Nintendo is not robbing you, right? The gaming industry is robbing you. Nintendo's just going along for the ride, but they are not anything close to, like, look at Sony. Look at Sony, man. Sony re-released The Last of Us 2 times. They had people spend $700 on a console that was just a console that was just another console that they had for $500. The only difference was, well, this is like complete 4K. It's just that the games I play on it aren't really 4K. And, you know, you can get like 120 frames per second, just that you don't get 100 frames. But, like, they were selling you the same games. Nintendo's selling you more advanced gaming, more fun, more incredible visuals. They're giving you such a better experience, and you're going to complain about the price now? Just shut the fuck up, all of you. Look, whatever, don't shut up. Just keep talking, all right? I don't care. It's your life. You do whatever you want. I just find it hilarious and hypocritical, of course, but hypocrites. The United States is just loaded with that. Deals thermal damage and inflicts thermal resistance down. Yeah, put that on. Let's do that. So I'm hoping that I can get... And as I said, if these videos can stop people from getting my Switch 2 pre-order and my Switch 2 day one, cool. Because the main reason why I started posting these videos was to help people. To give people facts, to not bog myself down in the analytical geekdom, stupidity, and ignorance of this is good because Rotten Tomatoes or IGN told me so. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. You know, I wanted to give people facts and help them discern their opinions from the facts. Well, I gotta switch this party out because I don't need Doug in here. Either I don't need Doug or I don't need Yelv. I don't need both of them, that's for sure. Yeah, and I wasn't expecting to be playing video games. I was done with video games. I was expecting to do movie reviews and whatever, but then I was getting nailed and had my videos taken down, so I couldn't really do that anymore, and I had to focus on video games. And I'm the type that when I get into something, I have to be 1,000% in it. I can't just be like, oh, I gotta change my class. What was this one? Boost damage to threat. Boost TP by 20 when using a melee art. Double that if you haven't. Oh my god. What's this? Boost critical chance and trigger a combo. Boost physical damage by 50. Can I get another slot? Okay, you finally can get your skills in there. Alright, let's see what we got. I don't know why you need melee attack up. You're not an offensive. Damage reduced. There we go. Man. Alright, this is good. Yeah, but that's really what I was here to do, was to cross-promote my books and to get people to just see things in a more intellectual light on the outside looking in, as opposed to people that are so deeply involved in all this stuff with all their connections and everything that they just want to keep lying to you. That's a lot of TP, if I may say. Maybe I should keep Doug in there for a while. Alright. My character is now going to be a duelist. Same weaponry, just different skill sets. Okay. Let's go to my arts, because I'm a fan of the arts. Alright, we can unlock some stuff. Deal stone damage. I think I would need to keep that on here. But I gotta get my debuffs. Which debuffs can I keep? Let me keep this. Oh, that's... Okay, so that... Alright. When I come back, we will get the other two guns down.